Assalamualaikum students. Let's begin with chapter number 4, measures of dispersion. In this chapter we are going to see the meaning, characteristics, the concept related to absolute, relative, then the measures of dispersion, that is range, quartile, average deviation, then standard deviation along with combined standard deviation. So let's begin with its meaning. Okay. A measure which shows how far the observation of the data are scattered from the measure of average is termed as dispersion. Means what they are telling, that a particular calculation which shows how far the observation are from a particular point. A point is given, okay, this is our aim. From this aim, how far the observations are being scattered, that is known as what? Dispersion. Okay. However, the term dispersion not only gives a general impression about the variability of the population, but also a precise measures of this variation. Now it is not only concerned with the population point, but also it is related with the variation. Variation means why the changes are coming every now and then. There are several definitions available which are stated by different statisticians. Many statisticians have given this definition. Among them, one is Pigel. According to him, what he is telling, the degree to which numerical data tends to spread. What they are telling? Degree, the particular level at which the numeric values are going to spread. Okay. An average value is called variation. Related to the average value, related to our aim value, how much the numerical data are going to spread, that is known as variation, or we can say a dispersion of data. Is that clear? From a particular point, how far other numbers are going to spread, that is known as dispersion. Clear here? Now let's see the next point. Characteristics of measure of dispersion. Now in that first characteristics, what it is? The definition of a measure of a dispersion should be clear and unambiguous. What they are telling? A particular definition, a definition which are being given for the measure of dispersion. That definition should be clear and unambiguous. Unambiguous means should not be any confusing. Okay, so your first point is what? The definition which are being given by any of the person should be very clear and should be less confused. Second, it should be simple to understand and easy to compute. Is that clear? It is very simple. Means simple to understand and easy to compute. Very nicely we can understand it and very easily we can calculate it. It should be based on all the observation of the data. Data we know that the particular numbers which we are going to take for the study. So that all numbers should be based on the particular data for which we are going to study. Whatever the topic is there, the number should be related to that only. Apart from that, we cannot take any other observation. Fourth point, it should be suitable for further algebraic and statistical calculation. Means the numerical data should be based on numbers only. Calculation and algebraic formulas only we can use. Such a type of thing should be taken. Means the data should include algebraic and statistical calculation. Fifth, it should be stable measure in the sense that different samples of equal size are drawn and measures of dispersions are obtained. The value of this measure should be almost same for all the sample. Whatever the different samples are there. See, again I am telling, it should be stable measure in the sense that, what is the other factor they are telling? That if different samples are of equal size, you are taking some other sample, we are taking some other group, okay, they are having same size, are drawn, okay, they should be taken of same size, same sample, and measure of dispersion are obtained. Means group A is there, group B is there, group C is there, but they should be having this group A will be having red color, group B will be having pink color. They are different, but the size is same. So on that also we can do the study. The value of this measure should be almost same. Whatever the values we are taking, the value should be the same for all the samples. The size of value should be the same. Is that clear? Then the sixth, It should not be unduly affected by very small or very large observation of the data. It should not be affected. If small data is there, the numbers are going to change or the answer is going to change. It should not be like that. If large data is there, the method is going to change or something else, means changes should not be there whether the data is large or small. Is that clear? So this we have done desirable characteristics of measure of dispersion. Now the next is concept of absolute and relative measure of dispersion. Now we are going to see the meaning of absolute. A measure of dispersion which is expressed in some statistical unit in which the observations of the data are expressed is called an absolute measure of dispersion. Means what they are telling, expressed in some statistical data. A measure of dispersion which are expressed in some statistical data, then that data is called absolute measure of dispersion. For example, if the original data are in kilogram, an absolute measure will also be in kilogram, then they are said of what? Absolute measure. Means what is, either it is in liter, kilogram, or any kg or any milligram, like that. So the answer is also coming in milligram or kilogram, then it is known as what? Absolute measure. Same should be there. Okay. An absolute measure is not useful for comparison purpose for variability of two or more sets of the data having different units of the measurement. Now what the answer is coming related to absolute measure? We are not comparing them. We are not finding the answer for the comparison. Okay. Let us understand this from the following example. Suppose weight in kg and height in centimeter of the students of the school are given. To know which characteristics is having more variation, we obtain absolute measure of dispersion. Now the unit of absolute measure of dispersion of the weight in kg, which is different from the height which is in centimeter. So it is not possible to compare the variability using the absolute measure. Now they want a comparison between the weight and height, but weight is coming in kg and height is coming in comparison centimeters. So we cannot compare two different things. What is there? If we are finding something in kg, the next unit should also be in kg. Then only we can compare or we can get absolute measure. Is that clear? So absolute measure is not meant for comparison. Next, relative measure. A measure of dispersion which is free from the unit of measurement is called relative measure. Free from the unit of measurement means, here based on the example, weight is in kg, height is in centimeter. So this point is comparatively useful here. But if weight is coming in kg and in centimeters, the height is there, we cannot use this point in absolute measure. Means relative measure is free from any of the point. Here kg can also be taken, centimeters can also be taken, milligram can also be taken. Means they are not bound to any particular point. They are free from the measurement. The variability of two or more sets of the data having different unit of measurement can be compared only by relative measure of dispersion. See here, absolute measure was not used for any kind of a comparison, but relative measure can be used for the comparison. Okay. Generally, a measure of relative dispersion is the ratio of the measure of an absolute dispersion of the observation of a data set to an appropriate average of the observation. Now what they are telling, relative dispersion can only be found out when average or absolute dispersion has been calculated. The relative measure of a dispersion is known as coefficient of dispersion. Is that clear? What is the other name of relative measure of dispersion? Coefficient of dispersion. Remember this. Relative measure of dispersion means coefficient of dispersion. This already you have studied in chapter number 3. That relative word is known as a coefficient, as it is independent of the unit of measurement of the observation. Is that clear? So here we have seen the concept of absolute and relative measure also. Now coming to the next, that is measure of dispersion. There are 4 measure of dispersion. One is range, mean deviation, quartile deviation and standard deviation. How many types of measure of dispersion are there? There are 4: range, mean deviation, quartile deviation and standard deviation. Is that clear? Now in this we are only going to see the points. Range. The difference between the highest and the lowest observation of the data is called range. Now what is range? Difference between highest and lowest data is called range, and it is denoted by a symbol R. Is that clear? Now what is the formula? Range R is equals to XH. X means observation, H means highest number, will be subtracted by with the lowest observation. Is that clear? So range is what? Subtraction, difference. Difference means subtracting. Difference of highest and lowest number of the observation. Okay, next we will see advantages of range. First, the range is very clearly defined. We are able to see high. If high is there, we can find the unit. If low number is there, we can find the number. Means very clearly defined. Its computation is simple. Very easy. Subtract high from the lowest. So it is very simple. Third, range is useful measure especially when variability among the observation of the data is less. When small data is there, we can use range. Okay, when small data is there, we can use range. Disadvantages. All the observation of the data are not used in the computation of the range. This is 1.3, that we are not using all the unit. We are only committed with the two number, which is one highest and which is the one lowest. जो सबसे छोटा है उसको लो और जो सबसे बड़ा है उसको लो, उसको subtract कर दो. So only we are dealing with the two numbers. We are not calculating with the all numbers. So here all the observation of the data are not used in the computation of the range. Range is very sensitive about sampling fluctuation. Sensitive means every now and there changes are coming. Fluctuation means changes are coming. It is not a suitable measures of algebraic operation. Totally we are not using any kind of a formula or something. Only one formula, that is subtract highest number from the lowest number. It cannot be calculated for the frequency distribution having open-ended classes. Open-ended classes you already have seen. What do we mean by open-ended classes? More than and less than or more than, which we are using in the quartile. In chapter number 3, you must have done quartile. So open-ended classes, when open-ended classes are there, we cannot use at that time range. Is that clear? So this was about the range. Now coming to the quartile deviation. What is quartile deviation? The measure of quartile deviation is obtained by dividing the difference between Q3 and Q1 by 2. What they are telling? The measure of quartile deviation QD is obtained by dividing the difference between by Q3 and Q1. First we are subtracting Q3 minus Q1 and then dividing by 2. Like this we are getting the quartile deviation, and it is denoted by a symbol that is known as QD. Writing in a formula like this, QD equals to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So whatever the value we are getting after dividing Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2, that particular point is known as what? Quartile deviation. Is that clear here? Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of quartile deviation. Advantages. The quartile deviation is clearly defined measure of dispersion. Clearly we can define Q3. The calculation, you know what is the formula of Q3, that is value of Q3 divide into n by 4th observation. Like this Q3 and Q1, what it is? The value of this one, value of n upon 4th observation. This is a formula of Q1 when this kind of a classes are there, continuous classes are there. If this classes are there, only observation are there, and then the formula will be like this, n plus 1 upon 4, and for 3 into n plus 1 up or divide by 4. This will be the formula. Okay. Now second, what they are telling, its computation is very simple, very easy to calculate, that we all know. Only we have to implement the formula and we will be finding the particular thing. Third point, its value is not affected by unusually small or large observation of the data. Means it has not been affected if the data is big or small, as only middle 50% observation are taken into account for the computation of the quartile deviation. Only we are taking 50% of the data for the calculation, like Q3 and Q1 only is being calculated, so not been affected. It is the only measure of dispersion which can be computed if frequency distribution has open-ended classes. open-ended classes. Now whenever the open-ended classes are there, we have to always find quartile. Okay, open-ended classes, let me show you. This type of a classes, less than and above 150, this type of a classes are there, then they are known as open-ended classes. Whenever you are having this kind of a classes, you are able to find quartile only. You cannot find mean or something else, you have to only find quartile. Now let's see the disadvantages. First, the first 25% and the last 25% of the observation are ignored for obtaining quartile deviation. Means first 25% and last 25% we are not taking. Only we are considering Q3 and Q1. Okay. Thus, all the observation are not used in the computation of this measure, as Q2 is not considered. Because of that reason it is said that Q2 is been ignored, so all the data are not being considered, so this is not said to be a useful computation. It is not a suitable measure for algebraic operation, means this method is not useful for doing algebraic calculation. This is not a stable measure with respect to a sampling. All the data are not being considered for counting, so this is not a good method for calculation of the sampling. This measure is less applicable in the advanced study of the statistic, as many more formulas are there, many other methods are there. So for only finding quartiles for this particular point or any of the point, this method is not said to be a suitable one. So these are the particular disadvantages based on the advantages which we have seen of the quartiles. Okay, now moving to the average deviation. Average deviation is also known as, average means mean. Okay, average deviation means mean deviation. Now see, what do we mean by average deviation? The difference between the value of the observation from here. The difference between the value of the observation and its mean is known as deviation. First we are finding the mean, then the difference of that is known as what? Deviation. This is known as what? Deviation. Here we can see other meaning also. From here, the range and quartile deviation are two measures of dispersion in which all the observations of the data are not used and they do not show variation of the observation from any average. When we are using range and quartile deviation, all the data they are having the changes that are not being shown. This limitation can be overcome by the measure of dispersion in which all the observations are considered and the variation of each observation from the average is also taken into account. Now a new method has been done where all the observations are taken for study. This requirement are fulfilled by average deviation. This particular point has been fulfilled by average deviation, which is also known as mean deviation. That is what? The difference between the value of the observation and mean, whatever the observation they have given and the value of mean what we have find, we are subtracting that value and the amount which we are getting, that is known as what? Deviation. This deviation can be negative, 0 or positive. They can come in the minus value also, they can be 0 also, and they can be positive also. The sum of all such deviation is 0 as seen in the chapter 3. To overcome this situation, the absolute value of this deviation are taken. It means that the negative sign of the negative deviation are ignored and the measure based on absolute deviation of the data is defined. Now what they are telling, when in chapter 3 we were doing, if the term is coming negative, we used to write that also. But in mean deviation, what we will be doing, if the data is coming negative, we will be converting into positive, means the negative sign, minus sign, we are going to ignore. Okay, now for as like you were doing in the 10th standard, the modulus sign which you were keeping, the negative number you were keeping in the modulus, then when you were converting, when you are removing the modulus sign, the terms comes into positive. So like here also we will be ignoring the negative sign. Now see the meaning. The mean of the absolute deviation of the observation of the data from its mean is called mean deviation and is denoted by MD. Whatever the mean we are getting from the observation, okay, of the absolute deviation, subtracting x from mean, okay, then whatever the value we are getting, that is known as mean deviation. Is that clear? The relative measure, relative means coefficient, the relative measure of the mean deviation obtained by dividing MD. Now we will be taking this. I'll be showing this. See, coefficient of mean deviation. Mean deviation divided by mean. Then we will be getting the value of coefficient of mean deviation. So here they are telling the relative measure of mean deviation obtained by dividing MD by mean, that is known as what? Coefficient of mean deviation. Is that clear? This is the formula. See here. This is the mean deviation. How you have to find? Sigma x minus mean modulus divided by n. This is your formula for mean deviation. And for coefficient of mean deviation, the formula is MD divided by mean. Is that clear? Now this are said to be one kind of a modulus. Here I will be showing. See, x minus mean. The terms are being minus 14. When we are finding absolute deviation, modulus we are keeping. This minus 14 is converted into positive. Means, in short, you have to ignore this negative sign and we will be taking direct this step. All the positive numbers we are going to take it. Is that clear? So this was about mean deviation. Okay. Mean deviation has also been done in group data and in continuous ungroup data also. Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of mean deviation. First, mean deviation is clearly defined measure of dispersion. How far the observations are from the main point, that is known as what? Mean deviation. Mean deviation is clearly showing us that how far the observations are. It is superior measure to the range and the quartile deviation as all the observations are in its computation. Now what is said to be a mean deviation? Mean deviation is said to be one of the superior one than range and quartile. Why? Because all the observations are taken into calculation in the mean deviation. Its value is less affected by the extreme value, that is unduly large and small values, as compared to some other measures of dispersion. Means less values are being affected less by the highest number, like that. Okay. Fourth, the absolute value of the difference between observation and the mean is used to measure the distance between an observation from the mean, which is an appropriate measures of distance. Now what they are telling here, the absolute value of the difference between the observation and the mean means x minus mean when we are doing, that is said to be one of the distance between of an observation to find the value of other mean deviation. So this is a best method to find how far the observations are from the average deviation. Okay. Now same way as the advantages are there are also some disadvantages. First, the computation of mean deviation is complicated as compared to range and quartile deviation. That is true. In range, we were only taking the highest number and lowest number. In quartile deviation, only Q3 and Q1. So as compared to them, here you have to find the mean also. Then you have to subtract the mean from the observation. Then you have to convert the negative into positive. Then you have to take the formula. So like this, the calculation is more long as compared to range and quartile. That's why it is said to be one of the complicated. Second, this measure is not suitable for algebraic operation. For algebraic calculation, they are telling that this method is not being suitable. Okay. This measure is less used in advanced study of the statistician as its definition is based on absolute value, actual value. Whatever the values are given, we are subtracting that value from the mean. So that's why they are telling that it is not being used in this new technology world. It cannot be compared if the frequency distribution has open-ended classes. Again, if open-ended data is there, we cannot calculate this method over there. Is that clear? So this was about the mean deviation. Now the last, we are coming to the standard deviation. Now for standard deviation, we will see the particular meaning. See the meaning what they are telling. We have seen that the definition of mean deviation is based on absolute value of the deviation of the observation of the data from the mean. Since the algebraic signs of the deviations are ignored, mean deviation is less used in advanced study of the statistic. This limitation of mean deviation is overcome by an important measure of dispersion that is known as standard deviation. Now what they are telling, as this mean deviation was been ignoring the algebraic signs and everything, so to overcome this particular situation they have invented one more new data that is known as standard deviation. Instead of taking the absolute values of each of the observation from the mean, the square of the deviation is taken. Now what they are telling, that we won't be taking any of the observations value, but we will be taking their square of the value, we will be squaring them. If the sum of the squares of this deviation is divided by the total number of observation, we get an important measure of dispersion that is known as variance. Variance has been denoted by S square. Now see the meaning. What is the meaning of variance? If the sum of square, sum means total, total of the square of the deviation, okay, is divided by total number, number of observation n, then that particular answer is said to be variance, that is known as S square. The positive square root of the variance is called the standard deviation. If the answer is coming in positive, then that is known as what? Standard deviation. And standard deviation is only denoted by S. Is that clear? S is standard deviation, S square is variance. Okay. Now see the meaning or coefficient of standard deviation, that is S divided by mean. Standard deviation divided by mean. Now I will be showing you the variance formula, that is what? Sigma x minus mean the whole square divided by n. This is the formula for variance. Is that clear? This is the formula for variance. But for standard deviation, simple as, what is the formula? Whenever you are finding standard deviation always come into root. That is what we will be taking, this only. Sigma x minus mean the whole square divided by n, that is known as what? Your standard deviation. This whole formula will come in root, that is known as standard deviation. Is that clear? Like this. See, these observations are being given to you. X, first we will be finding x minus mean. Always first you have to find mean. Then this will be converted into square. 2, 4, 8, 64, 10, 100. Ignore the negative sign. Here also ignore the negative sign. Okay. Then the data is this. Then we are finding mean, that is first priority. Then we are finding variance, that is S square by this formula. And then the same thing has been put in the square root, that is S. Is that clear? Now let's see its advantages and disadvantages. Standard deviation will also be come into two methods, that is your grouped and ungrouped. Okay. So don't get worried about in it. Yes, advantages and disadvantages of standard deviation. First, its definition is clear and precise. Very clear and very short. We can easily understand it. All the observations are used in its computation. All the single numbers we are taking in the calculation. Standard deviation is the most efficient measure of dispersion among all the measures of dispersion. Most important one among all the measures of dispersion. Fourth, standard deviation is suitable for the measures of algebraic calculation. Means for the algebraic, we are using all the algebraic formulas, square root, okay, like this. So for that, standard deviation is very suitable. We can use it. Only consider this much only. Next, they have given the example. Standard deviation is most widely used measure of dispersion among all the measures of dispersion. Means among all other formulas of dispersion, standard deviation is mostly used by the statistician. So these are the few advantages. Now also the disadvantages. The computation of standard deviation is more complicated as compared to the computation of the other measure of dispersion. Now like range and quartile deviation, standard deviation is more being complicated, but it is not complicated. It is same like mean deviation. Only the saying they have given that it is more complicated. The extreme observation get undue importance in the value of this measure. The highest numbers are not being given more importance. It cannot be obtained if the frequency distribution has open-ended classes. Same way here. If open-ended classes is there, we cannot use standard deviation. Okay, so this is almost same in quartile, in mean deviation also, in standard deviation also, and in range also we cannot compute them. Okay, now the next is combined standard deviation. Combined standard deviation means there are many observation, like group 1 and group 2 you will be having many data and we are finding them together. The mean deviation and standard deviation of this combined group are known as combined mean, okay, and combined standard deviation SC respectively, and their formula are as follow. When two groups are given, we are finding that two groups combinedly, then they are known as what? Combined standard deviation. But for that also we need to find combined mean. So combined mean formula is what? N1 mean 1 plus n2 mean 2 divided by n1 and n2. Now combined standard deviation SC is being denoted by SC. Combined mean C. So root into bracket n1, root n1 into bracket s1, that is standard deviation, plus d1, that is deviation, plus n2 into bracket s2 plus d2 upon n1 minus n plus n1 plus n2. Now see here, so this d1 means what? Mean 1 minus combined mean. This value of mean 1 what they have given, we are subtracting that by combined mean. And same way d2 means what? Mean 2 minus combined mean. Okay, that is known as what? D1 and D2. Not to worry about them. Then they are set square. So whatever the answer you are getting, you have to square it up. Is that clear? So that was about combined deviation, standard deviation. So here we are completing with the theory almost. Okay. On page number 163, the summary is being given. You will be going according to that particular data. Then the formulas they have given. Write down this formula in your sphere book. See the formula about absolute measure, normal, when we are calculating, when it is being said only to find range and when it is said to find the coefficient of range. So for range, what is the formula? R equals to XH minus XL, highest number minus lowest number. Same way for the coefficient. Take this term only, coefficient of R. What is the first? This will be coming up. XH minus XL divided by, first is negative, the down one will be the positive. See here. The down one they have given XH minus X plus XL. So whatever the range formula is there, that you will be keeping first and then dividing by the positive sign. Is that clear? So this is coefficient of range. Now quartile deviation. QD equals to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Now same way for quartile deviation, the first one will be the same. Change it by the positive one, Q3 plus Q1. Is that clear? Then mean deviation. Mean deviation is equals to, there is no need to write I. We can write sigma modulus X minus mean upon N. This is for ungrouped, when only the observation are given. Then for grouped, if grouped is there will come what? Sigma F. F for frequency, then it will be same, that is N. Is that clear? And coefficient of mean deviation will always be same, that is mean deviation divided by mean. Only you have to remember when the frequency are given, along with the observation the frequency is there, then you will be using this grouped formula. If only the observation are there, then you will be using this ungrouped formula. Same way for standard deviation. For ungrouped, you are having two formulas, sigma x minus mean the whole square divided by n, or sigma x square upon n minus mean the whole square. You can take shortcut method when we are using, when the numbers are very small. Okay, we are using shortcut method, that is sigma d upon sigma d the whole square divided by n minus sigma d upon n the whole square. For group data, when frequency are there, same, f will come ahead of sigma. See here, f is coming ahead of sigma. Shortcut method, same, near sigma f will come, sigma fd square, sigma fd square. Okay, and when the C, where you will be taking C if the class length are given. Okay, class length means continuous data is there. Group data is divided into two parts, discrete and continuous. If discrete, then this formula, continuous, then this formula C will come. Okay, but if different classes are there, the class length is different, then we won't be taking C over there. Now coefficient of standard deviation formula, standard deviation divided by mean, this is the formula. Coefficient of variation, that is what, standard deviation divided by mean into 100. And also for the variance we have seen, what is for the variance, we have seen the formula, see here in the beginning only. For the variance we have seen, for the variance, this sigma x minus mean the whole square upon n. Is that clear? For the variance, what formula we will be taking? Sigma x minus mean the whole square upon n. And if frequency is there, sigma f upon mean minus the whole square upon n for the variance. Is that clear? And combined standard deviation last. Combined standard deviation equals to root n1 into bracket s1 the whole square plus d1 the whole square plus n2 into bracket s2 the whole square plus d2 the whole square upon n1 plus n2. This is what they are telling, first part group A value, and 2 means group B value. Okay, don't get confused, and we have to make a square of that. So these are the formulas which we have seen. In the next video we will be beginning with the exercise. Thank you.